see what happened to America after the rejected President Zynolesky. They had debate with Trump. Look at what happened now. He went to Britain, the British people, the British president welcomed him very well. So you can see what you reject, some people will accept it, you can see. So it means that these people have bought to his concept, they believe in his ideology, they believe in what he's saying. You know, he had problem with Trump, and the problem that he had with Trump was that Trump was trying to make him to accept the peace deal, but he didn't. But now, he went to, from US, he went straight to, from US, he went straight to Britain, and in Britain, he was accepted very well, and other presidents of the world country, they support him. So we don't know what this thing is leading to. We don't know whether this thing will lead to third world war or what. But I just want you to keep on watching. Watch the video. Keep on watching the video and drop your comment. Watch the video and see what is happening. Just see his comment and everything, how he was being received. Just watch the video. Yeah, watch it.
President Zelenksyy left the US for London, touching down this morning. His motorcade headed straight for Downing Street. A planned meeting with the Prime Minister brought forward, a move that speaks to the urgency and precarity of this diplomatic row. Cheered by supporters on his way into number 10 for a choreographed show of support from the Prime Minister. Handshake after handshake from Keir Starmer, who is also trying to keep the US on side, and spoke to both President Zelenksyy and President Trump last night.
You're very, very welcome here in Downing Street.
Inside, the warm words you would expect between these two leaders, but ones which have taken on new meaning in the last 24 hours.
A lasting peace for Ukraine based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine. So important for Ukraine, so important for Europe and so important for the United Kingdom.
We're happy and we count on your support, and really, we're really happy that we have such partners and such friends.
Fantastic.
Tomorrow, Keir Starmer will host a wider summit of European leaders and focus on attempting to calm the crisis caused by yesterday's events.
He's all dressed up today.
Belittled, berated.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Accused of being ungrateful for US support and shown the door.
Mr. President, is there no deal?
President Zelenksyy reacted with emotion, but today he was emollient. In 14 social media posts this morning, he emphasised his gratitude for the US's backing of Ukraine. In Russia, officials have reacted with glee to what Donald Trump called great television, though there has been no comment yet from Vladimir Putin as events have unfolded. European leaders are now contending with the prospect of what could happen if the US pulls military support. In an impromptu press conference, Germany's foreign minister said her country needs to increase support for Ukraine without delay.
Der gestrige Abend hat unterstrichen.
Last night underlined that a new era of profanity has begun, a heinous time in which we must defend the rules-based international order and the strength of the law more than ever against the might of the strongest, because otherwise no free country can sleep peacefully anymore, which has a stronger neighbour.
This morning in Ukraine, the aftermath of drone strikes which damaged a hospital. A reminder of what is at stake as ties between Kyiv and its top military backer plunge to a new low.
Well, our reporter Francis Reid is at Downing Street with the latest. Francis.
Yeah, we've just seen President Zelenksyy come out of this door in the last couple of minutes, actually, and leave with his motorcade out of the main gates here. It's been a crucial weekend for him, of course, but also quite the weekend for Prime Minister Starmer as well, who's now uniquely tasked with finding a way forward through all of this and kind of being the bridge between Europe and the US. That big bear hug when they first met, not normal for the Prime Minister, but quite the contrast to the welcome that President Zelenksyy had in the White House across yesterday, and that was really quite deliberate, a deliberate show of warmth between the two nations. They didn't answer any of our questions when they went in or out of Downing Street today, but within the UK, we've heard from other politicians today. Rachel Reeves has been meeting with her Ukrainian counterpart, Sergei Marchenko, the Minister of Finance, keen to offer support there. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch as well has also come out on social media. She said, we need to remember that the villain is the war criminal, President Putin, who illegally invaded another sovereign country. As, of course, Reform UK leader Nigel Farage as well, a long-term supporter and ally of Donald Trump, also said the spat makes Putin feel like the winner and that Ukraine needs the right security guarantees. That is what they will be doing, of course, tomorrow. Not what they expected to be doing, but they're trying to work out now. Can Europe go it alone? That will be the crux.
Francis, thank you very much. Francis Reid there at Downing Street. Well, earlier I spoke to Anthony Gardner, who was the US ambassador to the European Union between 2014 and 2017 under Barack Obama. And I began by asking him, with eyes now on Downing Street, what is the UK's role in brokering an agreement between the US and Ukraine?
It's a very good question, a very tough question, because look, the UK is in a different position from the EU. That was made clear from the meeting in the Oval Office. There seemed to be some genuine warmth, and I think the Prime Minister played his hand very well. Just the fact the UK is not a member of the EU puts it in a better position, but it's not just that. It's the fact that the trading relationship is fundamentally different. So it can play a role. However, there is a limit, and the limit we saw in Technicolor in that fiasco yesterday, which is going to be very difficult to bridge. And secondly, it's time, and I hate to say this, it's time for European leaders, including Starmer, to realize that this administration actually wants to destroy the European Union. And that sounds pretty exaggerated. Perhaps some will think it's exaggerated, but it's not. I think that's actually what's going on. And I think the UK has a fundamental interest in ensuring that the EU remains strong.
Just in terms of the meeting yesterday, did Zelenksyy fall into a trap that was laid by Trump and Vance, as some commentators have suggested? Should he have gamed this whole situation a little bit better?
There are limits to that. I mean, look, one could say that he should have done what many other leaders have done, and to say, Mr. President, you're the best thing that's ever happened to the galaxy. Your deal is the best deal that's ever existed in this galaxy, and we're thrilled to have your support. All right, yeah, that's the narrative. But I think what happened, looking at the tape of what occurred, is that this administration actually wanted to humiliate him in front of the world. And some of the things that were said were literally taken out of the Putin playbook. That's what's very worrisome.
But Trump has said, isn't it better for these conversations to be out in the open and not behind closed doors? You can see everyone's cards. And Donald Trump has suggested that it's good for Americans to see this, and it's good telly.
Well, it's good telly. That's a pretty low bar. I mean, that performance has never occurred in the Oval Office. I've been in many meetings in the Oval Office with two presidents, Bill Clinton and Obama. But look, it's not a partisan issue. This kind of a spectacle, that kind of a fiasco never occurred under any Republican president at all, whether it's George Bush Sr. or Jr., Ronald Reagan, Nixon, Ford, you name it. It's never happened for very good reason. When a foreign leader comes to the White House, he or she should expect to be treated with some degree of cordiality, especially, by the way, the leader, I would say a brave leader of a country that's been under attack. The man has lived in a bunker for 3 years. I think he had every expectation of being treated civilly, and he wasn't.
Looking to this summit tomorrow, what do you think will be the best case scenario for Europe?
Europe needs to step up. I mean, so many declarations have been made about this, but this really is the moment of Europe. To say to Donald Trump, we're going to stick behind Ukraine because this is fundamentally in our interest. We do not want to see Russian troops either take over Ukraine and certainly not threaten our borders.
Say the US steps out of the way completely, is not going to offer any assurances. Will European countries be able to club together and fill that gap?
Well, that is the key question, of course. It can't fill up all the gaps. And that's why, so many leaders have been asking Washington to provide some sort of a backstop. I would hope and anticipate also that Europe can broker a minerals deal that would at least convince the White House it has an economic stake in the future of a democratic, stable country.
Ambassador Gardner, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.